Hi and welcome back to my channel, Black Cats Pilates. I'm Sarah. So thank you for joining me today for this 10-minute beginner workout. This routine is going to be part one of 3 routines. So this one's 10 minutes, we'll be doing the next one will be 15 minutes, and the one after will be 20 minutes. So they're all going to be based on this one routine, and then we'll just add progressions to each exercise every week. Okay, so my advice to you would be to do this as many times as you can. Get really good at it. Obviously, practice makes perfect. The other thing I want to say as well is I've just put a video out on the Pilates ABC. So that just stands for alignment, breathing and core. I highly recommend that you check that out before you do any of this workout, especially if you're a beginner to Pilates, because if you can understand those concepts, you're already at an advantage before you start. Okay, I will leave a link to that video in the description below this one. So without further ado, let's make a start. We're going to be in a standing position to begin with, just a quick warm up. So whenever you're ready, let's get to our feet. Okay, so we're going to start standing for this one. Just come to the middle of your mat, make sure you've got plenty of room around you, and just start with your feet together. Stand up nice and tall, relax your arms so your palms are facing in and shoulders back and down. Okay, so remember we're really lengthening through the spine. We've got our chin level with the floor. We're now going to part the toes at a 10 to 2 position. Let's lift our heels, take them out to the sides and place them down. So our feet are now facing forward. They're about hip width apart. You're going to keep your knees nice and soft. Perfect. Okay, let's very gently draw the navel toward the spine. Make sure your arms are nice and relaxed. And all we're going to do is gently swing our arms from side to side. Okay, so these are lazy thoracic twists. You don't need to go too fast. Just make sure you keep your arms heavy and you just turn in the ribs from side to side, nice and gently. Bit of rotation of the spine. You might feel a good stretch around the front and the back of the ribs. All right, we'll leave that there. Just relax that. Give the shoulders a very gentle roll and get rid of any tension that might be kind of around the neck and shoulder region. Okay, now we're going to go to one end of the mat. And then stand again with your feet about hip width apart. We're going to stand up tall. So again, we're finding our neutral posture. And then we're going to make our way down onto the floor to start our routine. Now, before we do, let's just bend the knees just a little bit. I call this a ski position. Okay, so when you look down, your knees are behind your toes. You've got your heels down. We're going to try not to flex the spine. Don't bend forward. Try and lengthen your spine. Have the shoulder blades flush with your back, but let your arms hang nice and heavy and loose. Perfect. We're going to keep the core engaged here as well. So scoot the navel just gently toward the spine. Okay, now you're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. And when you exhale through your mouth, just very gently nod your chin and allow your arms to hang heavy as you make your way toward the floor with your fingertips. Just keep your knees nice and soft, a little bit bent there as well. Okay, and now you're going to gently roll back up again, back to neutral. So lengthened spine. Shoulder blades flush with the back, arms heavy, and we've still got the legs in that ski position. We're going to go one more. So breathing in, and then exhale, navel in, nodding the chin. Allow the arms to just hang heavy, top of the head toward the floor. And then, of course, we roll back up to that start position again. We're going to do one more, last one before we come onto the floor. Okay, so nice big deep breath in. And exhale to engage the core, nodding the chin, gently coming down with the fingertips. And now if you just want to place your hands on the floor, we're going to come down into an all fours neutral position. So hands under shoulders, knees beneath the hips. We start with a lengthened spine. So again, nice and straight, tailbone or tip of the tailbone is in line with the crown of the head, and we're just looking at the floor. Try not to lock your elbows out. We're just going to go for a couple of cat and cow movements. This is all about flexing and extending the spine. All right, so take a deep breath in through the nose again. And then exhale through the mouth. And when you do that, you're going to tuck your tailbone gently under, draw the navel up, push the floor away from you, and then you nod your chin to your chest. You then inhale to gently lift the tailbone, allow the ribs to sink down, and we gaze up. We're going to go again in the other direction. So we exhale to flex the spine. Inhale to extend. Making sure we keep the hands under the shoulders, the knees beneath the hips. So we're rippling very gently through the spine, vertebra by vertebra, leading with the tailbone Nice and smooth movement. Good, just waking up the facet joints. All right, now we're going to stay in our flex position just momentarily, because I then want you to just sink back on your heels. So you're coming into what's known as a shell stretch. So sink right back if you can, reach your arms forward and relax your head. Now from here, we're going to come back up into an all fours neutral position. So again, hands under shoulders, knees beneath the hips. We've got a lengthened spine. Really important here not to drop the ribs. So just push into the floor just gently. Keep the shoulders nice and strong and keep your navel drawn in as well. Okay, little exercise called Superman. This is all about balance and coordination. You're going to start with your left hand. So my right, your left, because we're mirroring each other. And you're going to slide the fingertips just forward slightly. So the arm is fully extended, but try not to overreach. Okay, then you're going to bring your hand back and we're going to do the same on the other side. So slide and return. Let's keep it going. Exhale, slide forward. Inhale to come back. Opposite arms. Now lots of precision here. Try and make sure that you don't overreach here, because what happens is you're going to end up dipping your shoulder. Now you've got to try and think of your back as though it's the top of a table. So when you reach forward, you don't want to drop a corner. You're keeping your chest and pelvis square with the mat in front of you. Okay, now we're going to bring in opposite leg to the arm. Okay, so when you slide your left hand forward, the right foot goes back and vice versa. So all we're doing is opposite arm and leg, reaching away, just extending the limbs and alternating sides, keeping the spine nice and straight and in neutral, keeping the chest and pelvis facing dead ahead and in line with the mat or parallel to the floor, keeping the fingers and the toes down, and you can definitely feel that core activation. You should be able to feel the muscles around your waist just activating as you're moving your limbs. Good, try not to rush through, just a couple more. Very gentle scapular strengthening, so chest and shoulders. All right, we'll relax it there and we'll sit back in a shell stretch and reach our arms out in front and just relax the head down. Take some nice big deep but normal breaths in and out, and you can give your hips a sway very gently from side to side. Now from here, we're going to come back into all fours but pass through and come down onto your tummy, so into prone. Just relax your legs behind you. So knees should be about hip width apart. You're going to relax your feet. And now we're going to take our hands, interlace the fingers and place the forearms down on the floor. Now with your head, just pop the forehead down so it's on the back of your hands. Keep the shoulders back and down, and you're going to draw the navel up. So take it off the floor, draw it towards your spine so you've got your core engaged. Now when your core is engaged like this, it does help you to keep your pelvis nice and still, which is what we're going to look for with this next exercise. This is chest lift. All you do is gently raise your chest up so your forearms come off the floor, and then you come back down. So you can inhale up and exhale down, or if it's easier, you can exhale up, take a little breath in and exhale down. But try to use the strength of your spinal extensors here, okay, not momentum. You don't want to jerk the body up. And the key to this exercise is going nice and slowly, keeping the navel drawn in toward the spine, and you're trying not to raise the legs. So if they're coming off the floor, try and tuck your tailbone under a little bit. Okay, that's going to help you keep your pelvis still as you raise your chest up and gently down. All right, now we're going to relax that there. So you can come down, place your hands under your shoulders, slowly come up into all fours. And again, sink back into shell, but go really slow so we can stretch out the lower back muscles and around the hips and the glutes. Big deep breaths. Wonderful. Okay, now we're going to come back up into all fours, but just walk forward toward the front of your mat and come to seated. Now you can face whichever end of the mat you like. Just make sure that you've got a bit of space behind you. Feet down on the floor, we're going to sit up nice and tall. So there's some bony parts underneath your bottom. Those are your sit bones. Make sure you're sitting on those. Just place your hands behind your knees, shoulders back and down, and try and lengthen through your spine. So if you remember that imaginary piece of string pulling you up from the top of your head toward the sky, We've got neutral. Okay, now let's take a nice deep breath through the nose. And then exhale through the mouth, and at the same time, you're drawing your tummy button in. We're going to come off our sit bones, gently and slowly lower the ribs as you lean back with your shoulders. We're going to go all the way down into supine for a full body stretch. So reach your arms overhead, lengthen out the legs, and if you want to flex your ankles, it's a really nice way to stretch out your calves. All right, now let's place our arms by our sides, feet on the floor. Let's get a bit more comfortable. Okay, so relax your pelvis, try and relax your shoulders, make sure the knees and feet are about hip width apart, and you've got your arms by your sides and the back of your upper arms just touching the floor. So not too hard, you don't want to flare the ribs, but just gently, and make sure your palms are facing down. We're just going to go into a shoulder bridge here. Okay, so let's take a deep breath first, in through the nose. And then when we breathe out through the mouth, again, draw the navel in. Tuck the tailbone under, so you're lifting the pelvis and rolling up through the spine toward the shoulders. And now you're going to breathe in and roll down. When you roll down, tilt the pelvis forward very gently. So we're going to exhale up and inhale down, nice and slow. So just feel that work in the back of your legs and getting into the glutes, but also you're using your arms to steady you so that you've got that little bit of scapular strength and stability. Now we're going to hold our bridge the next time we come up. And when you do, try not to flare the ribs, keep them nice and relaxed, keep the tailbone tucked under and the navel drawn in. So you've got the back of your pelvis square with the floor. Now let's start with our right leg. All you're going to do is lift the foot and bring the leg into tabletop. So your knees above the hip, shin is level with the floor. You're going to roll down from the bridge from here and then replace your foot. Okay, and then we're going to go back into the bridge again. So we roll up nice and slowly through the spine. Left leg this time to tabletop. Roll down from the bridge, replace the foot. So we're going into the bridge with both feet down. You then take one leg away, roll back down again with the leg in tabletop. Try to keep the back of your pelvis square and parallel with the mat. Okay, use your arms to help you. Remember to breathe, don't hold your breath. Exhale to roll up. Inhale down. We're going to do one more. Lovely. So last repetition. And then you can place your foot back, or your both feet back down. All right, let's just give the knees a squeeze. Circle them gently round a couple of times in each direction. We're going to be staying in supine. So just pop your feet on the floor. Knees and feet hip width apart. Relax your hips. Okay, you're going to keep your arms by your sides, but raise them up just slightly and turn your palms in so they're facing your hips. Take a deep breath. On your exhale, engage your core. So gently draw the navel in. Let's not forget the pelvic floor muscles. So remember, just gently zipping up. So those tiny little muscles around the groin, just draw them in the direction of the ribs. Okay, so we've got full core activation. Now, what we're going to do here are some curls, really slowly, like sit-ups. Taking the fingertips, you're going to reach them gently forward, lifting the head and the shoulders, so you're looking between your knees. And then we come back down. Okay, now we're going to exhale to lift. Inhale, lower, using the strength of our abdominal muscles. Okay, so really slowly, like you're trying to take your fingertips to the wall in front of you. So your arms are parallel to the floor, but when you come up, you kind of reach in sort of mid-shin here. But do try and keep the shoulder blades flush with your back and the top of the shoulders away from the bottom of your ears. Exhale up, inhale down. Really getting that core connection. So keeping the core engaged throughout. We've got that in and up. But we're exhaling to come up. Inhale down. We're going to try and hold this last one. And just gently pulse the fingertips forward, forward, forward. So breastbone, forward, forward, forward. 3, 2, 1. And down. Well done. Big deep breaths, okay? Big deep breaths toward the tummy button so you can just relax your abs. Just get that oxygen flowing around the body. Okay, now we're going to roll onto one side, so you can do whichever side works best for you, but just roll forward, or roll to the side rather, so that you can see this direction. We're going to have the legs together, bend the knees, bring them forward, and try and get your toes to be in line with your tailbone. Just guess, okay? Just make sure you've got a decent bend of the knee. We're going to take our bottom arm and just lengthen it out so we can relax the head on it, and your top hand is in front of your chest with your fingers facing up. Now we need to try and find a neutral spine, okay? So here, all we need to do is just tip the top hip away from us. All right, so this hip here, going to take it in the direction of the bottom of the mat. So now the top hip is directly above the bottom one. They're stacked, and you're going to draw the navel in to hold it all in place. So we've got a nice lengthened spine. All right, let's do the clam. Nice and simple. You're just going to take your top knee and gently raise it up and then down. So we're going to exhale to lift, inhale, lower. We always try and exhale on exertion, so the hardest part of any exercise, which of course will be the knee raise right here. But we're just going to go for another 3, feeling that squeeze just around the hip and toward the glute, and we're going to relax it right there. Okay, that's all we're doing. Now we're going to push up to come to seated. Make sure you're still facing forward, and all you're doing is taking your feet around the front of the mat to the other end, so you can come down and do this side. So remember the bottom arm, we're lengthening it out, legs together, but bend the knees, bring them forward, try and get your toes in line with your tailbone, top hand in front of the chest, fingers facing up. So we're relaxing the head. Remember, we need to stack our pelvis, or stack the hips, so the top hip is going away from us, and we're drawing the navel in, engaging the core to hold that all in place. Okay, let's go for our clam again. Big deep breath first. And exhale to raise the knee. Inhale down. Good. Nice and steady, smooth movement. Lovely. Try not to drop your hip backwards. All right, keep the hips nice and still. The pelvis is absolutely still. It's facing forward and the hips are stacked. And that's what's going to give you the best from this exercise. You're going to feel it much more intensely around the hip. All right, last couple. Perfect. And then our last one. And we're going to relax it there. And again, very gently push down, so you're coming into a seated position. All right, that's the end of the workout. I really hope that you enjoyed that. Well done if you made it to the end of the workout, and I really hope that you enjoyed that and that you're going to join me again next week for part 2. Remember, it's slightly longer, tiny bit more challenging, so make sure you check that out next week. So if you enjoyed the video, remember to give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so that you'll always get notifications whenever I upload a new workout. So with all that said, thank you so much for moving with me again today, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye.